Right, here we are at a lovely old lift that allegedly is going to be pulled out soon. We'll put a call in, call it down. Very old, very basic. Go for a ride in the lift and have a look at the machine room. Rats gates doors. Closes on the walls. There we go. Original push button. There has been a phone fitted at some point. Go for a ride. Single speed AC, pretty horrendous. This thing went in about 1946, right after the war. Worked quite well. It's basement drive. There's some diverters in the top of the shaft. Not a hell of a lot. It's got door locks fitted up the top there that I think I fitted about 1991 to upgrade it. Go back down. Basement. Got a cam on a chain. Very old building, very reliable lift. Sometimes the people pull the door open before it quite gets to floor level, then don't close it behind them. Another time the brake gets out of adjustment and you start to see the floor levels wander out and then it trips the moon overload and the brake doesn't lift. It's about the only thing that stops it. There's not a lot of safety devices. Let's look at the machine room. For some serious excitement. That, across the roof, is the floor selector. It's chain driven from inside the lift shaft. There's the machine, single speed, Electric Construction Company Limited motor. Says something else but I can't read it. I think it's a high resistance stator motor. Little brake. Basement drive, sheath through the wall. No longer legal these things in case the bearings wear and they tend to snap shafts, which is hideous, so they have to be ultrasonically tested on a fairly regular basis. The controller is what we call Igranic lift controls. It's pretty ancient, but as I say, right after the war they couldn't get much else in here. So have a look up the top, there's the old phase failure unit with its mercury switch in it. They've all been connected. All original relays. And I think at some point we've replaced the up and the down contactor and the main overload. Call that a modernisation. Circa about the year 2000. Around the back it's just as ugly, I think. It's all steel conduit, TRS tough rubber sheath wiring and the selenium rectifier. We actually have diagrams for this, which is surprising. As I say, there's the floor selector across the roof. So I'll chuck in some coils, which is the exciting part because it takes 2 screwdrivers to do it. Where do we want to go? We'll go to the top floor, so you have to press in the up relay and the floor relay at the same time. Carefully with 2 screwdrivers and holding the phone. Away it goes. There's the machine running. She's going very slow. Now, it's our selector pushing over the stop switches until it gets the top floor. It's all on threaded rods. And it stops, slam stop. You skid to a nice stop. The over travel switch is down there. Just see it behind the shaft. It's got wooden guides on the back for the counterweight and round guides for the lift car. We'll call the lift back down and we'll watch the selector do its thing. It's quite amazing. Switches on its threaded rods and just across, which floor you're going to. It's had little tails added to it to cope with the resistance because you can't get the right carbon for the blocks anymore. So when this bottom one clicks over, I'll lift it up. Amazing, beautiful old piece of equipment. Just got a single DC brake on the top there, split brake drum. Whatever that is, H&CL Limited London. So it went in about 1946, is there a date on it? No. But it's bloody old. And it's, as I say, 90% original with the exception of the contactors and all the rest of it. But look in here, you can just see the edge of the wooden car. That's the lift. Slowly soaked in oil. It's got wind and safety gear underneath it. And you can just see the wedges there that will grab the rails. Should all go pear-shaped. And cloth trails as well. So a few of those have been replaced as time's gone by and they've just worn out. And I think at some point, as I say, sadly, it's all going to get ripped out very soon. I sold them a new one, and I'm quite sure it won't be as reliable as this. We've even got the old diagrams up there. Chuck them on the floor. That's what they used to look like. It's actually quite difficult to follow by today's standards because nobody's used to looking at line diagrams like that. Equipment, just up and down and slam stop. The motor's all drawn as like a resistor, and it's all there. There's the car station there. Trails, halfway box for the trails. Spectacular old thing. Probably replace it with. So just press the button. Where it goes. It's gone to the ground floor. There's somebody opening and closing the doors. Have a look in here, see where they're going. They're going to the top floor. Relay 3. So you can watch the selector. Come around. Beautifully made stuff. Slam still stop as the contact opens. Issues with this stuff is nobody knows what it is anymore. I tend to look at the selector and go, oh my god. And the only reason it ever stops out of level is because it wears a bit on the brakes, and the brakes stop it every time, so your brake ends up a little bit out, and then if you don't adjust that, you start looking at other serious stuff. So it looks like it's rusted, so I'll call it back down again once more. There she comes. Full selector, had these switch in there. So that's an Igranic lift from about 1946. It's had a new main switch at some point because the old one was so ugly that you wouldn't want to touch it. However, the light switch is still original. It's pretty cool stuff. Concrete cast building. You won't see too many of them anymore. And relay coils like that last that kind of lifetime, they just don't exist anymore. So it's beautifully made stuff, and a little bit sad to see it go, but I'm probably the only one left that can fix it. Brakes the again. A brake when it comes into a stop. It's pretty clear to the shoes, just ticking away nicely with the split brake on there. It looks odd, but it's actually just the gap between the brakes. You see it when it stops. There you go, you get a nice skid just to your nice floor level. Somebody's getting into it. There it goes again. Busy old lift. Slip the chain. Must be the person that came around before. They go to the ground floor, which would be that one. Here we go. Steel conduit all the way around. To be one of the first AC machines that they put in, because most of the stuff around this time was still DC, used to run off the trolley bus line, so this would have been very modern when it went in with an AC motor. The pit's pretty ugly, so we have a quick look in here. As I say, there's not much to see. The buffer spring down there is, let's just say you wouldn't want to be in the lift if I ever hit that. It'd be ugly. But, and it's all got grease cups. The idea is you fill them up and the maintenance man winds those half a turn at every visit, and it stays lubricated. These things of course have fairly high maintenance. And here, as they come off, there's your phosphor bronze gear wheel, which I'm sure will go straight to the scrap man when they pull this out. We don't build them like this anymore. It's even got inspection cover written on the inspection cover, just in case you didn't know it was an inspection cover. It's got a little at the end that comes off, so you can hand crank it should you need to. There's the hand crank, special tools and spanners that come with the lift. And they're still here, nearly 80 years after it was put in. It's incredible. There's your hand crank hole there. You've got that motor that has never been apart. As I say, it's beautifully made. Leaks a bit of oil, but it's British. Got a car that does the same thing. Anyway, close that up. As I say, sad to see it all go. That is an Igranic lift from circa 1946. That's what they tell me. Here we are. Beautifully made. I'll hold it down one more time. And it'll disappear. There's the lift. Lovely. Thank you.